Cry 3 is firmly in my top 10 video games of all time. So when I hear rumours that they are cooking up an anthology drama based on the series, my only demand is simple. Bring Far Cry 3 to the table and I will die a happy gamer. But here's the thing, I am not breaking out the champagne just yet. Game to TV adaptations, in my opinion, are kind of like dating apps. Sometimes you're going to get a Fallout or The Last of Us, Season 1, and sometimes you get Halo. I'm still very much in the leave video games alone camp. Do I think George R.R. Martin making an Elden Ring movie is wise? No, I do not. Am I side-eyeing the live-action Zelda? Absolutely. Anyway, I digress. This video is about Far Cry 3, not my deep distrust of Hollywood execs in a gaming boardroom. Yes? Yes. Here's the plan. First, I'm going to pitch Far Cry 3 to you, as if it's 2012 all over again. And then I'm going to tell you what it's like revisiting it now in 2025. So, buckle up. That was me buckling up. Buckle up. We're going to Rook Island. So, picture this, Jason Brody, your average, I just want a beach holiday kind of guy. He's suddenly watching his brother straight up murder a dude. Like, Jason's horrified. We're talking, I just saw Darth Vader unmask levels of shock. When his brother does it again, Jason's voice has that shaky, about to cry quality, like when you realise your favourite pub has stopped serving beer. I can't do this, Grant, he whispers. That wasn't whispering. I can't do this, Grant. Grant, I can't do this. Anyway, when will this whole pirate nightmare, when will it stop? It doesn't stop. 2 cutscenes later, Jason's in this panicked tussle. He's shoving a machete right through some pirate's throat. It's not exactly sipping cocktails by the pool anymore. Far Cry 3, it does not mess about. Right from the start, it's got this grim, this is not a fun beach party vibe. Jason is surrounded by pirates who basically run Rook Island like it's their own dodgy sandals resort. And here's the thing, at first, Jason is not cool about killing anyone. He's not John McClane yet. But as he goes on his mission to save kidnapped mates from absolute lunatics who'd sell like their own grandma, you slowly watch him change. Slowly, believably as well. What starts as like a basic revenge plot, it turns into something way bigger. This messy, unpredictable story that pokes you in the moral compass and it says, all right, mate, how far would you go to protect your friends? Just curiosity. What are you going to do along the way? Jason's big transformation, it kicks off right after he escapes from Vaas. Now he's like the island's unhinged pirate king. Basically, Jack Sparrow meets Hannibal Lecter. This is the guy who's nabbed Jason's friends and family. Not exactly the type you're going to send your Christmas card to. But before you even get to go like full Rambo, hunt him down, Far Cry spends a good chunk, like almost an hour, turning you into like Bear Grylls on speed with a tan. You're scavenging, you're picking flowers like a hippie on a nature walk, and then you're skinning wild animals to make stuff that you actually need. And trust me, ignoring the local wildlife is like ignoring a buffet at an all-inclusive. You are only going to hurt yourself. Bigger wallets, that's more cash to splash on shiny new guns, extra holsters. That's so you can carry more than like one broomstick. Larger rucksacks, there's more room for loot, ammo, why did I say broomstick? Whatever else you decide is worth nicking. The beauty of Rook Island is that everything you do feels like it's for a reason. Whether you are upgrading gear, poking around, something random, there's literally always almost something useful waiting for you. It's open world, it isn't just like a massive playground stuffed with collector, bunch of stuff that's pointless. The hidden bits actually mean something. You'll stumble across old World War II letters that tell you about like it's rough past. Can't even talk. Find like dodgy memory cards that pull back the curtain on its sketchy drug business. On the surface, it's loud. It's like a violent first-person shooter, loads of gunfire and explosions. But it's kind of just one slice of a much bigger adventure pie. Rook Island, it oozes history and personality. You'll be poking around crumbling underground ruins like Indiana Jones, hanging out with locals and getting chummy with Rakyat, which is like the island's native tribe who are part spiritual guides, part, they'll teach you to kill better, don't worry. They're the ones who push Jason like further down his dark road. They give him the skills and the power he needs to save his mates, his brother and his girlfriend. Though let's be honest, it's not exactly like a spa retreat. This is where the character progression, it really kicks in. The arc is now in full swing, right? The more Jason kills, the nastier he gets about it, the more XP he earns to unlock new ways to make people regret meeting him. Before long, I can't do this, Grant. Beach bum is chaining brutal machete kills, firing pistols mid-zipline and flicking knives into eyeballs from the length of a cricket pitch. His fear is gone. His hesitation is gone. Jason starts to like the carnage, and that's when you realise just how far he's fallen. One of the big themes in Far Cry 3 is quite literally losing the plot. And not in the, I forgot where I parked the rental car on holiday way, but proper full-on mental unravelling. Jason and pretty much everyone he bumps into are either teetering on the edge or already having gone like full Jack Nicholson in The Shining. And it works, because these people, they don't feel like bog-standard video game extras, they feel real. The acting is so good, you could half expect them to turn up in like an episode of like The Sopranos. Take Vaas, right? Part stand-up comic, part falling down Michael Douglas. 1 minute you're laughing along with his madness, and the next you're wondering if you're about to star in your own Reservoir Dogs ear removal scene. His boss, Hoyt, imagine Gordon Gekko decided greed is good but organised crime is way bloody better. Like Alfred told Batman, some men just want to watch the world burn, and Hoyt, he wants to burn it, bottle the ashes and flog them on QVC. And Vaas's beef with Rakyat, basically his own, like Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader drama, except you're Luke. You never signed up to be a Jedi, and Vader is here and he's way more into like machetes than he is lightsabers. Jason himself, he's no Captain America. He and his mates were living it up in Santa Monica. More like, what was that cringe TV show? 90210 than like Black Hawk Down. And his biggest challenge in life was picking between bottomless mimosas or another surf lesson. Then he discovers his one true talent, killing people. And suddenly he's telling his mates, feels like I'm winning, which is basically saying, I'm really getting into CrossFit now, but the rules involve murder. And that's the hook. Far Cry has kind of always been about how you get the job done. You sneak in like the Solid Snake, you go loud like your Arnie in Commando, or you channel your inner gladiator and unleash the tigers. My personal favourite is letting loose a bear or two in a pirate outpost, sitting back like David Attenborough narrating, and here we observe nature's majestic vengeance. That was my David Attenborough impression. It was terrible, but you're still here. And then strolling in afterwards to claim that place like Clint Eastwood walking into a saloon. Now, causing panic in Far Cry 3 is like an art form. And a lot of fun. You've got plenty of ways to handle a fight, pick off enemies from a mountaintop with a sniper rifle, roll into camp with like Rakyat warriors in the backseat, or go in quiet with a bow and knife. Feeling particularly daring, you can try dropping in from a hang glider straight into the middle of a base and taking out a few guards before they even see you coming. No matter the method, taking over an enemy stronghold always feels rewarding. Once you've claimed it, it becomes your base, a place to sell loot, buy better weapons and add upgrades like scopes and silencers. They also work as like fast travel points, so they let you move around Rook Island without quickly regretting like having to trek for absolute miles. Outposts aren't just convenient though, they're meaningful. So in the previous game, Far Cry 2, you kind of got stuck in the middle of a messy conflict, playing both sides. In Far Cry 3, it upped its game, you ended up with a clear mission, take the island, spread Rakyat's influence, and then leave your mark. This is Jason's legacy on Rook Island, and the reason he's destined to be part of the story. But how does it fare up in gaming today? 2012, let me just set the scene, was like peak gaming for me. I was 19. All I did was gaming, and then like in between, university, occasionally clocking in for my shift at the pub. This was the year, it was the year of Black Ops 2, Diablo 3, World of Warcraft, Myths of Pandaria. I still watch that cinematic trailer because it's so good. And obviously, Far Cry 3. Now, after a few hours back on the sunny shores of Rook Island, I realised something. Far Cry 3 still feels kind of pure. I'm talking like gameplay pure, like not wholesome family entertainment pure. It's not Finding Bloody Nemo. Mechanically, still a joy. The shooting, it feels snappy, the exploring is fun, and causing chaos is as satisfying as ever. But in 2025, I'd imagine what it feels like, if you're new, is kind of if you get to take out an old sports car. Sure, it's going to creak. The radio is only going to play greatest hits of the 80s, which is never a bad thing. But once you put your foot down, boy, you remember exactly why you loved it. Now, that said, some of the stuff around core gameplay, many years later, it's ropey now, right? The cutscenes, had that slightly dated early 2010s, like, we've just discovered motion capture vibe. And the storytelling, while memorable, has that a bit of that like Michael Bay school of subtlety about it. But when you're out there on Rook Island, bow in hand, creeping through tall grass like you're auditioning for like Predator 2, it doesn't bloody matter. If we talk about Jason Brody, our main man, more accurately, main bro, the name kind of says it all, doesn't it, Brody? Anyway, you kind of, with a name like that, his appearance, you expect him to show up wearing board shorts and asking if anyone's got spare beer money. But here's the problem. Even back when Far Cry 3 launched, Jason wasn't exactly Mr. Popular. These days, he does feel a little bit more outdated, like a movie action hero who didn't realise his franchise was cancelled a decade ago. His transformation is so fast, it's kind of almost comical. One minute he's the panicked rich kid, can't do this, Grant, horrified that he's taken a life. The next thing, he's torching an entire settlement without batting an eye, like he's auditioning for Apocalypse Now 2, Beach Party Massacre. And yes, his personal growth is represented by a tattoo on his arm, because nothing says deadly warrior like a bit of trendy forearming. And then there's the uncomfortable local struggle gets magically solved once a white outsider arrives storyline. It was tone deaf then, and it feels even clunkier now. Ubisoft has quietly moved away from that angle in obviously more recent years, but in Far Cry 3 it's still kind of front and centre. But 19-year-old me thought it was a vibe. Far Cry 3's age, it's starting to show in some unexpected ways, like opening the crafting menu instead of diving straight in. The game pauses to have a little moment with itself. A spinning icon appears as it goes off to look for online servers that were obviously shut down ages ago. Of course, it finds nothing, then throws up a little no luck message, and then it waits for you to click away. It's a tiny thing that only happens once each time you play, but it feels like stumbling across like an abandoned phone, still trying to send a text from 2013. It's kind of sad, kind of sweet, but also it's time to let go of that one. Anyway, still, the heart of Rook Island, it hasn't lost its charm. This is like, it's a place where you can happily wander about without a single mission objective nagging you. It's prepped with side activities, but it doesn't drown you in the way later Ubisoft worlds do, mentioning no names. Climbing a rickety old radio tower, which comes with like a mini platforming challenge. It might reward you with a couple of new map markers. Not 100. And honestly, Breathing Room feels great. After the early story missions, the game kind of steps back and basically says like, cool, off you go. And from there, it's up to you, really. Track down more towers, or like storm pirate camps, craft bigger gear from animal hides, or just mess around. Maybe you glide over the jungle, maybe you light up some grass and watch it creep across a hillside like nature's very own flamethrower. However you approach it, there's a looseness to Far Cry 3 that still feels fun and liberating, even if the menus are stuck in the past. And I guess for all the times other studios have tried to copy it, even Ubisoft themselves, Far Cry formula has probably arguably never been sharper than it is here. Everything feels streamlined. The guns do their job without fuss. Stealth is straightforward but satisfying. The upgrade system, yes, even with the slight grim business of skinning dogs, it feels natural, letting you improve your gear whenever and however you like instead of following a rigid checklist, right? It's not flawless, but you can see why the thing, it was so adored and loved back in the day. It's lean, it's exciting, and it treats empty spaces as places for you to experiment, not as billboards for another map icon. So yeah, Far Cry 3, it has been, I think it's aged surprisingly well. Dodgy Jason Brody and his irritating entourage aside, Vaas still holds up as a top-tier villain. Though now I can't help but see Michael Mando himself in the role, thanks to Better Call Saul. Rook Island remains an incredible playground. Part tropical paradise, part danger zone. And it's still a joy to roam. And the core Far Cry formula is just as addictive now as it was back in 2012. And that's why, if Ubisoft and the TV gods really are serious about turning Far Cry into an anthology drama, Far Cry 3 is the one they have to start with. It's got everything the first season needs. A self-contained story, an unforgettable villain in Vaas who practically radiates TV Villain of the Year energy, and a setting that's as much a character as any of the people in it. Rook Island's lush, chaotic beauty would look stunning on the screen, but more importantly, it's a backdrop that kind of amplifies Jason Brody's slow, uncomfortable slide from clueless tourist to something far more dangerous. Audiences love watching complex characters just fall apart and Jason's moral compass collapse. It gives you exactly that, with plenty of opportunities for tension, action, a few of those "did that really just happen" moments, and even I guess the fans agree. Like, just from a little bit of research prior to doing this video, even people on Reddit are arguing that Far Cry 3 needs to be the starting point just because Citra and Vaas would be so good on screen. And they're right. Vaas, he brings madness. Citra brings this mystique, and together with the island itself, you've got the makings of like a binge-worthy season that would hook both newcomers and long-time players. If they pull it off, we're not just talking about a good game adaptation, we're talking about the kind of show that could stand shoulder to shoulder with Fallout or The Last of Us season 1 as proof of like that when it's done right and the source material is respected. Looking at you, Witcher, bringing video games to TV, it can be absolute dynamite, but it has to be done right. Anyway, I'm only going to implore you one time to please do all those things you need to do to support my tiny channel, and I hope to see you in the next video.